Am I doing?
Yeah.
Welcome again to Patriots 4th and 2, the new generation. This is our, fourth episode? It's
Yeah,
great.
number
I get to
4.
number 4. And in this episode, we're going to talk about storylines heading into Patriots training camp. There are several. I think I've listed about 6, and we're going to go through it during the show. Also, on top of it, Brady and I are going to break down the Patriots schedule, and we're going to predict this season as we are today. That could
Yep, right
change
before
by the
training
beginning
camp.
of right before training camp. I think we should look back at this at the beginning of the season, but we're going to predict it at the beginning of training camp. All right, so let's get to it. Brady, how you doing?
Doing very well. Excited for another show. Great to be here. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. One other thing that we should mention, Brady, because actually we do have some breaking news for us. We actually have some subscribers on
We got
YouTube.
5,
We've
just like we
got 5.
requested.
We
Let's try
got
to get
5.
10. 10 before our next show.
Can we get 10? Can we get 10 subscribers? That would be great. We have 5. Can we get 10? And we are actually live on YouTube. We're live on my X account. And we're live on it looks like the Patriots 4th and 2 Facebook page. So we're live in a few places. So hopefully people will actually subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, enough talking about that. Let's go through the storylines, Brady. Let's start with number 1. This is the number 1, I think, for not just training camp, but for the entire season and for years to come. It's the development of Drake May while learning a new offensive system. And Brady, this is Tom Brady's offense. He's now learning it. It puts the onus on the quarterback to make the right decisions, make the right calls. And also he has the ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage, regardless of what Josh McDaniels calls. This, to me, trumps everything else that we're going to talk about on this show. Thoughts on Drake May?
Yeah, so this is super important. Again, we've gone through it before. Drake May is not Tom Brady, all right? So we'll see if he can learn to the new system. Obviously, Josh McDaniels is more of an old school coach. He's not more of the, say, modern coach of the NFL, modern offensive coordinator who, gives the quarterback a little bit more leeway, lets them run the football. I think Drake May will still have a lot of freedom within this offense, but there will be some restrictions, and I think those will be some of the challenges that Drake May will have to face because, he's more of a dual threat quarterback. Means he's going to want to escape the pocket a bit more. He's going to want to throw on the run, which is something that Tom Brady never really did. And so both of them, McDaniels and Drake May, are going to have to really try to get a middle ground on this new system to where Drake May isn't too restricted to where he, can't make the plays that he wants to, but also there's some stability within what he can and can't do. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I think Drake May as a quarterback, he's matured pretty well. He's already being a leader, hosting a lot of private sessions with a lot of the Patriots players in the offseason, as we've seen. I think he's going to be able to develop pretty well. It might take a couple weeks, maybe in the training camp. Maybe we'll see it in the season. It'll be up and down, but I think overall, I think this will be just fine. He's going to learn it, and I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback this season with this new system with Josh McDaniels. I think this is going to be the best Patriots offense in a while.
I hope you're right, Brady. And what's interesting, because we look back at them installing Tom Brady's offense, we'll just call it what it is. That's not the name of it, but it's basically the offense that has been run for many years for the New England Patriots. Now, when McDaniels left, we had the unfortunate situation of
All
having
Helens, dude.
That's right, of having a new system with 2 defensive coaches basically running an offense, and obviously it did not work out at all.
It was better than Bill O'Brien.
Well, Bill O'Brien, I thought, would actually have it run smoothly,
and everyone thought that.
It was okay. I don't think it was terrible. I disagree. I think it was okay.
It was one of the worst offenses in the league and one of the worst we've ever seen from the Patriots.
Well, no. I think what was worse was last season. Okay? I think last season was actually worse. They go to a West Coast offense. And the reason why I'm so happy that McDaniels is back is because when they're running this offense, Brady, the quarterback doesn't really call the shots. It's taken out of his hand. He just does what the offensive coordinator wants him to do. Yeah. This puts the power back in the hands of the quarterback, which I think is very important for his development. That's why I'm talking about not just the development of the quarterback. It's so important in this offense that he not only, I'm not going to say changes the way he plays, but adapts to this offense, but does not lose
Exactly. Yeah.
what he is. And I think that's your fear, that he's going to be asked to do something different. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I think it'll be tweaked to take advantage of his strengths. You talk about his running ability, but the decision making, that decision making, Brady, needs to still be about Drake May. Would you agree with me or disagree?
I would agree 100%.
Okay. So that to me is the number one thing I think I'm going to be looking at when we go to training camp. And Brady and I will be going to the training camp, and that should be a lot of fun. I look forward to do that. Maybe we'll do a show. Maybe we'll do some videos. It should be fun. So that's the first thing I'm looking at. Right behind it is this one. Now, this has been a huge talking point, Brady, here in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you right now, this is one that's actually driven me a little nuts. But here it is. Can Will Campbell be the starting left tackle from the beginning of the season? So my thoughts on then I'll go to you is that there's been so much talked about. We talked about it already about his arms, right? Short arms. Yep. I can tell you right now that Matt Light had short arms. Matt Light had the same measurables, and Matt Light was a starting left tackle for the New England Patriots for years and years. So I'm going to discount that a little bit. What I'm going to highlight is that if you've watched Will Campbell and you've seen his play in the SEC, playing for LSU, his history, here's a guy that I know that the measurables say that he might not have what it takes, but it's all of what he has done on the field that tells me he will be a success in the NFL as a left tackle, not as a guard. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I think you hit on most of the points. He played in one of the toughest conferences in all of college football, and I don't even know if he gave up many sacks, but he was one of the most consistent tackles in all of college football. I think this is a stupid debate on his arm size. He's going to be the next Matt Light. He's going to be the Patriots starting left tackle for years to come. And I don't think there should be any concern with really anything about him because he's a big guy. He fits the Patriots kind of mentality pretty well, saying he'll die for Drake May. That's exactly the kind of character that Patriots fans really want. Some guy who will put the team in front of everyone else in front of himself, as opposed to what we've seen the last couple seasons. He's going to be great. Yeah.
See, I think he's going to be great, Brady. We haven't seen him. It's something that I'm going to be looking at training camp. But the one thing that I do like about him, I've already heard him speak, but I think it's what I see in the video, the toughness, that type of thing that I don't think you can teach. It's either you have it or you don't. And the one thing about him, he plays with that toughness. And I think that's going to be a very big positive. And I think he's going to protect that backside, because if you have that left tackle really nailed down, then everything else, as we're going to talk about next, I do think can fall into place. But so we're in agreement that this is a huge talking point, but you're feeling confident.
Yeah, I was never worried when they drafted him. When they drafted him, I was actually really happy. I don't get the media uproar about his arms or really anything. He's great. He's going to be a great player.
Okay, very good there, Brady. All right, let's move on to another storyline that kind of goes along with this. So I think this is probably the one that most fans are thinking about. I know everyone wants to talk about wide receivers. I actually didn't list that as one of our storylines. We can always talk about that. But I think this is the number one. Yeah. Can the offensive line come together as a unit? So before I go to you, I just want to share again my thoughts on this. It's a valid conversation. Absolutely one of the worst offensive lines, I want to say, for the past couple seasons the Patriots have had. It's been bad. It's been very bad, okay? I think part of it, though, is not just the players, but it's also been the coaching. So the Patriots have upgraded that tremendously, not just bringing in some good players, but they brought in a top-of-the-line offensive line coach in Doug Marrone. Top of the line, Brady. Yeah. Head coach at Syracuse, played at Syracuse as an offensive lineman. That's his specialty, is the offensive line. Doug Marrone, this is his thing, okay? So I think that this is a huge deal, bringing him in to coach these players up. I actually heard him speak, and he's actually having to learn the Patriots offense, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to see how that all works out. But I think one of the reasons why I'm confident that it's going to be better, Brady, than it has been in years past is that going back to this Josh McDaniels led offense, the Tom Brady offense, if you make the decisions quicker, you less expose your offensive line. And I think that's also another reason why I feel that the line is going to be much better than last season. The question is, how much better? So I think this is the question of camp along with Drake May. Can the offensive line come together, Brady?
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be like crazily like better than last year in the last couple seasons. I do think it's going to be improved from how bad it was. Like I think they were like, dead last 32 out of, 32 in the league for offensive line at least. I don't think it's going to be they're going to get up into like the top 15, but I think it'll be around 20. And honestly, I think that's what we need for the offensive line. Just, average to below average play because, what we've done the last couple seasons has been utter crap, to say the least. And the question, can the offensive line really come together as a unit? The only time will tell. Again, everyone really has to rally around Drake May and the whole offensive scheme. Everybody needs to get on board. So it's a tough question. And, I don't exactly know. I can't really give that answer definitively because, we just haven't seen enough yet. But right now, I would say hopefully they can come together, and we'll just have to see. Only time will tell.
Right, Brady. This is an only time will tell situation. And listen, you brought in an experienced right tackle in Morgan Moses.
Yep, Morgan Moses.
I've seen some of the media already question it because of his age. I get that, but he's
Doesn't
experienced.
matter.
Doesn't matter if he can play, right? He can still play.
He could be Marshall Newhouse, but we're
I
not
don't
going to
think
talk
so.
about him.
No, I don't think so. But there are so many moving parts. Will Cole Strange play? Again, the question
did he even
at
play last year?
center.
Cole Strange?
He was injured for, I believe, most of the season. So
Yeah.
you've got all these pieces. You've got Michael Onwenu coming back, but you have a lot of unknowns. So I think the ability of the line to protect Drake May and also open up holes for the running backs, I think, is going to be key. So this is something to look at. I feel that it'll get better. The question is, as we said, how much?
That's also, one more thing to add. Offensive line needs a lot more discipline because especially the penalties last year were a huge killer, and even the last couple of years have been a huge killer for the Patriots. If I see Adrian Lowe ever on that offensive line again, I think I will go down to Gillette Stadium and personally tell Mike Vrabel to get him the hell off the team, because I have no idea how he survived on an NFL roster the last couple of years. He is probably one of the worst offensive linemen I've ever seen and commits way too many penalties. He caught a touchdown pass last year, which was pretty cool. Probably the highlight of his career. But other than that, utter garbage. So hopefully he doesn't play for this team this year. I think he's still on the roster, but yeah.
He still is, Brady. I think he's on the PUP list, if I remember correctly. Whew. But we shall see what happens with him. All right, let's go to the other side of the ball where I think it gets interesting. We've talked about this in our prior episodes. I think this is the storyline for me about the defense, the change of style with the Patriots defense. So we do now have a new defensive coordinator.
What's his name?
Terrell Williams.
Williams.
Okay, I actually said it right this time. And he has history with Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel obviously is a defensive coach. Now, here's the thing that we've talked about before, and I've talked about with Steve and Derek on the original Patriots 4th and 2. The style of defense, the two-gap in defense is gone, meaning the read and react. That's gone. This is now basically going through your gap and trying to penetrate and get to the quarterback, get to the running back as soon as possible, not worrying so much about looking at and reading the player. You're just going forward. It's an aggressive style of defense. Now, what's interesting is I'm going to talk about the corners coming up next. You need 2 shutdown corners. We'll talk about that to play this style. But I'm excited about this, Brady, because I've not seen this probably since Pete Carroll. Are you excited to see a more aggressive defense?
Oh yeah, Patriots need a lot of firepower, and what better than this style of defense? I'm excited.
Okay, so I agree. I'm very excited. I want to see if some players that they brought in can make a huge difference. We already talked about this, but I think the key to this defense are going to be Christian Barmore and Milton
hmm
Williams. Brady,
You need a
your
lot of
thoughts?
sacks.
Yes.
I mean, you need again a two-headed monster in on the defensive side of the ball because last year the Patriots had the least amount of sacks in the league and it showed. Also, the run defense was horrible. They lost
Yep.
a good couple games last year, especially I remember against the Tennessee Titans, one of the worst teams in the league last year. The Patriots got absolutely destroyed with the running game, and they could have easily won that game, and they just could not stop one of the worst offenses in the league. And so, adding this new defensive style, I think, it'll prevent a lot of those problems from happening, and it will make the Patriots defense, again, I've said it, top 10 defense in the league.
There's a Goldman for you. I put myself on mute. How about
Yeah, I
that?
was gonna say, I heard you from downstairs, but
Yeah.
could not hear
No.
you on the microphone.
No. That's a typical
Yeah, that's
Russ
how loud
Goldman
he
move.
is. I can hear him from my room upstairs.
Well, there you go. There was a really stupid mistake I made, but basically, I think this defense has a chance, like you said, potentially to be top 10. But I will tell you this: that players that I'm looking forward to seeing to make a difference, I'll say Keon White on one side, but a player that again not getting much talk about is Harold Landry. Brady. He
hmm
was again consistent at Tennessee, but he can be a game wrecker.
hmm
Would you agree?
Oh yeah, great signing. I said it before. He's gonna again another player, another piece of this defense that is gonna add a lot of aggressiveness and gonna get the Patriots a lot more sacks and hopefully get them more wins, so they
I
don't have
hope
to be
so.
carried by Drake May. I mean, Drake May carried this team really all of last year, and only had one win, but he had to do so much more in order to even get production. So I think a good defense will take a lot of pressure off of him, as we've seen in multiple sports, and good defense always, gives more of a cushion for the offense. Sports like baseball,
Yep.
you need a good pitcher in order to relax the offense. So yeah,
Okay. All right, Brady. Let's move on here. Here's the question I'm really curious your thoughts on. Do the Patriots have two shutdown corners? Because if they do, this defense is going to go to the next level. You're talking about sacks, but if you have players that really can let those defenders get at the quarterback and give them a few more seconds to get there, it could really help a great deal. We're talking about Christian Gonzalez
and
and
Carlton
Carlton
Davis.
Davis. Is
Yep.
Carlton Davis good enough to be a shutdown corner?
No, he's never been, but he's still a good serviceable corner. And with Christian Gonzalez, I don't think it's going to matter too much that to have two shutdown corners, especially to the level that Gonzalez really plays. So I would say no, but I don't think it's a huge deal that Carlton Davis isn't really that, number two guy that you really needed. He's still a veteran. He still has seen winning. And, as long as Gonzalez stays healthy, Patriots secondary should be fine in terms of, shutting down. I mean, Patriots defense, always I've said, the big plays are always the worst. They always limited the little plays, but the big plays always what kind of led everything to get out of control. So as long as they limit that, they should be fine. But yeah, Carlton Davis isn't, I would say, a shutdown corner, but he's still a good corner. And the Patriots still have other options in that secondary that I don't think it's going to matter too much. Kyle Duggar is a good
Yep.
safety, so yeah,
Okay.
Jabril
So my
Peppers.
thoughts on Carlton Davis, I agree with you. I don't think I would call him a shutdown corner, but what I will say is that he is more than serviceable to do the job at corner and do a good job at corner. Again, this is before your time, Brady, but when the Patriots had Ty Law for the 2003 season, which I still think is the Patriots' best team. I know people disagree
Mm,
with me. They say 2004. On the other side was a player by the name of Tyrone Poole, who
yeah,
many don't talk about, but Tyrone Poole just did his job. Carlton Davis is probably even a better version of Tyrone Poole. So that's why I think this really has a chance to work. And I'm glad that you talked about Duggar. I know there are some people that are down on Duggar, down on the safeties.
He's great. I mean,
I think Duggar's a very good player.
yeah.
And
I mean,
I'm not
listen,
down on.
you have two safeties that hit as hard as really anybody in the league in Peppers and Duggar. There's nothing really to not like about them. They can get interceptions. They're fun players to watch. Shouldn't really be complaining.
People like to complain. You know that, Brady. People like to complain. Okay. Before we talk about the actual season itself, I'm going to ask you, just in general, do you have any storylines that you're going to be looking for when we go to training camp? Besides the ones with Stephon Diggs.
Is he the receiver that Patriots fans want? Like an 800-yard, 900-yard receiver. Is he a leader? Does he stay on the field? Is because he's coming off a torn ACL. We got to see if he still got the legs that he always had for his whole time in the NFL. That's going to be, I'd say, my number one storyline. Number two, probably Travion Henderson. A lot of people are excited about him. He just signed his rookie deal. Off topic, but second round picks. I mean, fully guaranteed deals. This is crazy. This is brand new meta that's being introduced into the NFL. It's introducing a whole new kind of pressure to second round picks, and I think Travion Henderson, it'll be interesting to see what he does at training camp, where the Patriots will put him on the depth chart. I think right now he's probably at number 2 behind Stevenson, but we'll see. Maybe he leapfrogs him in camp. We don't know. We'll see if he can really look good. And my final one just is, again, all the other rookies. We have, what was the rookie out of Georgia, the center? What was his name? Wilson. Yeah, excited to see him. And then you had Braden Swinson or whatever.
Yep.
Another player I'm excited to see, despite character concerns. I think just pretty excited for all the rookie class. I mean, people are saying Patriots had an A+ draft. We'll see if that statement was right. So yeah, those are my 3 takeaways.
Okay, so I actually like those. The Stephon Diggs one, I understand. You know how I feel about Stephon Diggs. Not a fan, but he's now a Patriots player, so let's hope that he does make an impact. Certainly not against whatever he can bring. So let's hope that he can bring something positive to the Patriots, Brady. So that's number one. Travion Henderson, I'm glad that you mentioned him. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think he could have a huge impact. So for me, I'm going to be watching him. Glad that you mentioned him. I'm going to throw one last storyline on the fire here. So let's talk about the coaching staff, because I think there's a feeling, Brady, that the Patriots are going to be better, and I think it starts with Mike Vrabel. So one of the things that I'm going to be looking for when I go to training camp is how well it's run. I know that sounds boring.
No, but that's completely true, because in the last couple of years, Patriots training camp has been a mess. And I'm talking about the play on the field. People are saying it looks god awful. We saw it in the media, and obviously 2, 4, and 13 seasons, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. But I'm looking forward to seeing if Vrabel has everything in command. Not saying it's going to be run like when Belichick did. He'll run it his own way. But I just want to make sure that it looks like it's being taken extremely seriously, which it should, Brady. All right. Coming up next in the second half of the show, Brady and I are actually going to break down the season. We're going to go through all the games and give our prediction at the end before the training camp begins. Okay, Brady, let's get to it. Let's start with the opening game of the season. We'll just keep track of your record, and we'll see where we are at the end. So try to keep track here. So the Patriots, week 1, open up against the Las Vegas Raiders. What do you got?
Vegas Raiders, a Josh McDaniels revenge game, if you will. This is a win. I'm pretty confident in this team. I know Raiders got Geno Smith now. A lot of questions on that team. They have Pete Carroll, so it'll be pretty interesting. But I think the Patriots will get it done in front of Gillette Stadium, a place where they have played horrible in the last couple seasons. I think they get the win. They go to 1-0, and there's a lot of excitement around here. Kind of similar to what happened when we beat Cincinnati last year in week 1, except I don't think the season goes just as it did last year. So it's a win. I think it might not be a blowout. I think they win by, say, 10, maybe 14 points, a couple touchdowns, maybe 2
Okay.
touchdowns, 14-point win. But I think this is a win. It shouldn't be a loss. They should not be losing to the lowly Vegas Raiders. It's a win.
Okay, I'm going for a win. I'll say right now by 2 touchdowns.
All
I
right.
think the Patriots are going to start off the season really well with a
Yep.
win against the Raiders. But
Show
then
some
Brady,
offense.
yes. But then week 2,
Oh.
uh-oh. The
Uh-oh.
Patriots are on the road week 2 at Miami. Your prediction?
Loss. I mean, it's the most predictable thing on the schedule. The Patriots never play well in Miami with any quarterback they have, whether it be Mac Jones, Drake May, Tom Brady. Doesn't matter. The Patriots just never show up, especially in September. It's going to be hot as hell out there. It's going to be a loss. I think they will keep it close. Miami, of course, isn't the team that they've been in the last couple years with how explosive their offense was. They've had a pretty rough offseason, trading Jalen Ramsey and whatnot. But I still think the Dolphins are going to end up beating the Patriots. It's going to be close, but it's just the heat. Patriots just can't deal with it. It's a loss, 1-1.
Okay. I'm with you. They're going to lose this because of what you just said. You're my son. You know your football. It's going to be because of the heat. I think is going to play a huge factor.
Yep.
I don't buy into the Tua factor because I'm not a big fan of Tua, but I just think it's going to be too early to play the Miami Dolphins in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm going with you. We are both in agreement, 1-1 heading in to week 3 against the Steelers, Brady. What do you
Pittsburgh.
got?
So in years past, this would be a marquee matchup. This would be a Sunday Night Football matchup. But unfortunately, due to recent events, this is a 1 o'clock game in week 3. If you asked me this a month ago, I would have said the Patriots would have easily beat the Steelers. But obviously, Aaron Rodgers decided to sign with Pittsburgh. Not saying that Aaron Rodgers is still an elite quarterback, because I don't think he is. But he definitely adds some, kind of an interesting depth factor to this game. It's a toss-up for me. I like that the Patriots are at home, even though, of course, they haven't played well at home recently. It's hard. It's honestly kind of going to be a coin flip. This is going to be a really good game. It's going to be really close. But I think the Patriots get a game-winning field goal, and they beat Pittsburgh. They go to 2-1. The crowd goes crazy. Everybody's like, oh, my God, Gillette Stadium is back. I think it's going to happen. This game is going to be awesome. We're going to get the win, go to 2-1. Lots of excitement going into week 4.
Okay. Brady, I'm going with the Patriots victory. And I'm actually, part of the reason is because they're playing against Aaron Rodgers. I actually think that's to their advantage.
Really?
So I'm going to say that this is a Patriots victory. I have a very good feeling about this. So another factor is that the Patriots are running their offense again. And Josh McDaniels knows how to beat the Steelers defense. It hasn't changed in years. So I'm going with 21-10 to the Patriots.
Oh, he's already got a score prediction.
Yeah, I'm giving a score prediction. 2-1 to the Patriots right now. Okay, so now let's move on to the Carolina Panthers.
Win. I mean, Panthers are one of the worst teams in the league. I don't buy into Bryce Young at all. I think it was pretty fluky the end of the season last year. The Panthers just obviously don't have enough firepower. They don't really have a great coaching staff. I think it's a win easily. This might be a blowout, and the Patriots go to 3-1. Not much to say about this one.
Okay. So I agree with you, Brady. I expect this to be a huge victory too. I'm going 3-1. Let's move on to Buffalo. Okay, so this is going to be a difficult one. Week 5 against Buffalo at Buffalo. Your thoughts?
Patriots are back on prime time under the lights in October against Buffalo at Highmark Stadium. Drake May going into an intense, raucous environment. People breaking tables everywhere. This is a loss. It's a loss. I think the Patriots will play well, but Buffalo is just, they've got so much talent everywhere. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. I used to not respect him. I respect him now, even though he hasn't obviously been to a Super Bowl yet. It's still the Bills. It's still Josh Allen. I think the Patriots could keep this one tight if they wanted to, but I just don't see them winning this on Sunday Night Football. It's just, again, too much Josh Allen. So I go with the Bills in this one, 3-2.
Okay, I agree with you. I just think it's going to be not the right time to be playing the Bills. Maybe later
Yeah.
on in the season, Brady, but away on the road in Buffalo, I have that as a loss. 3-2. All right.
Still a pretty good start through 5 games.
Absolutely.
3-2. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go to week 6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, against the New Orleans Saints team, what are your thoughts about the Patriots playing the Saints?
Yeah, so if this was a year ago, I would have been pretty cautious about this game because this is a horrible Saints team. But, new coaching staff, I think this is going to be an easy win for the Patriots. This Saints team could be one of the worst teams in the league just because, we don't even know who their quarterback is going to be. Could it be the rookie Tyler Show? Could it be Spencer Rattler? We don't really know. Saints really don't have a lot of consistency with their offense or their defense. This is a Patriots win in the Superdome.
Totally agree, Brady. I see this as the Patriots being 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Saints are going to really have a hard time this season. So
They're going to be a bad team, very bad team.
They're gonna be a bad team. So let's move on to week 7 again at Tennessee. Now Tennessee again. Tennessee is at the bottom of the barrel. What's funny going through this is that you see how many bad teams the Patriots are playing, but they're away at Tennessee.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel revenge game. Going back to Nissan Stadium, where last year Drake May single-handedly brought this team to overtime with one of the craziest Ramondre Stevenson touchdowns you'll ever see. This is a win. I think the Patriots get it done. In fact, I don't think this game's even close. It shouldn't be close. The Titans are horrible. They have a rookie quarterback, Cam Ward. We don't know how good he's going to be. We haven't actually really heard much about him. I just heard that Will Levis is out for the season, so we probably will know that Cam Ward will start this game. And I think this is a win. Easy win. It's a blowout. And the Patriots go to 5-2.
Okay, that's so funny because I can't believe we're both going to be in agreement on this.
Oh, wow.
I just think that they're in a tough spot. There's a reason why they're drafted number 1. Okay, there's a reason why they were where they are, Brady. So I'm going 5-2 with you. I'm definitely in agreement on that. Okay, let's move on. So now the Patriots we both have it at 5-2, which is really good to start the season, right? Now you bring on the Cleveland Browns, Brady.
Man, these are a lot of bad teams, Russ.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Week 8 against.
This is a win. Again, this is a year ago. I would have been pretty concerned about this game, but this should be an automatic victory. This is a horrible team that you should really beat up on. Some call it a get-right game. A lot of these are get-right games where the Patriots, put on 30, 40 points. I think it's going to be exciting just to see, some offense. And I have this as a win. Patriots go to 6-2, one of the best teams in the AFC. Can you believe it? 6-2.
Brady, I have them at 6-2 as well, which is unbelievable. We're in agreement all the way through. I'm not doing it just because what you're saying. I actually believe that they're going to be 6-2 at this point. But again, listen, a lot can change. We're going to see how the teams look coming out of training camp. But as we're heading to training camp, 6-2, I can definitely see that. That's going to lead to week 9. Again, Brady, the Patriots are home against a very beatable opponent, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, so I think the Falcons are a team that a lot of people don't give enough praise. I actually really like Michael Penix. I think he's going to be a pretty solid quarterback in the league. The Falcons they almost made the playoffs last year. They had a pretty bad midseason collapse. They were 6-3 at one point. They ended up finishing, I believe, 9-8. Missed the playoffs, 9-8, 8-9, whatever. This is going to be a fun game. I would be pretty excited for this game at home against the Falcons. A team, of course, Patriots have had a lot of history with, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is I'd say second really coin flip from the Steelers game. Second coin flip of the season. This could really go either way. But oh God.
Make a pick, Brady.
I like the Patriots, but I can see the Falcons winning it. I'm gonna go 7-2. I think the Patriots win.
Brady, I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm agreeing with you. I'm going to say 7-2. It's not great that we're agreeing on everything. We might disagree coming up, but I think we both see this really good start. But part of the reason why I think we're feeling confident is the opponents that they're playing against. I mean this is such
garbage.
They're playing garbage, but the Patriots are garbage right now.
That missed the playoffs last year.
Right. Right.
But maybe that's what you need with, new coaching staff is to
Absolutely.
beat up on some bad opponents, get some confidence.
Yep.
Now, we saw this in 2021. Of course, the Patriots fell apart. After this, the schedule gets a lot more tougher. So,
Yeah, it does.
this will be the huge test. Week
It
10 at
does.
Tampa Bay.
Yep. So I'll get us started. I actually going to put this down as a loss, Brady. I think
Mhm.
that Tampa Bay with a former Oklahoma quarterback is going to make
Baker
it
Mayfield. Yep.
difficult on the Patriots. I have this as a loss, so that would have them at 7-3 for me.
Yeah, also a loss. I can't believe I agree with you, but I mean, many people who have been talking about this game, it just doesn't really seem like a comfortable game for the Patriots for whatever reason. Going on the road to Tampa Bay, playing Baker Mayfield, a pretty underrated offense.
Yep.
Yeah, I have it as a loss, but still 7-3, still looking pretty good going into Thursday night football against the Jets.
Okay. And Brady, I have this as a Patriots victory because
Mhm.
they're at home. I have this as a victory, so I now have them. What would their record be? You're keeping track better than me.
8-3.
8-3. Okay. How about you?
Yeah. So the only thing that has me worried is Justin Fields returning to
Oh,
Gillette
Brady, come on.
Stadium. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. Because the last time Justin Fields played the New England Patriots, he absolutely torched them and had the best game of his career on Monday Night Football a couple years ago. That was the whole Zappy game. That was where everything started to fall apart.
Okay.
But I still think the Patriots get a win. It's going to be, I think, a closer game than a lot of people think. I don't think the Jets are going to be that bad this season. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, which would be really funny. Yeah, this should be a win. 8-3. So we have identical records right now, but week 12 against Cincinnati.
Okay. Week 12 away against Cincinnati, Brady. And listen, they won in Cincinnati last year. Again, I just think this is going to be a difficult game for the Patriots. I have this as a loss and have them at 8-4.
All right. My take on this is that this is going to be that first big game for Drake May where he shows the whole league that he is the Patriots quarterback and he is one of the best, top 15, top 10 quarterbacks in the league because I think he's going to torch this really mediocre Bengals defense who have a lot of holes. They had Hendrickson retiring. They've had a lot of, changes on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. This is going to be a win. It's going to be a huge win. One of the biggest Patriots win in years. Patriots won in Cincinnati last year with a way worse team than they have right now. Who says they can't do it again? It's a win. 9-3.
9-3. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Brady, you're more positive than I am. That's pretty good, Brady. All right, let's move on. I have this as a win. Home against the Jets. I'm sorry. There's a goal.
Giants.
Home against the Giants. So I have this as a win. So I have them now. That would be you have them at what, Brady?
9-3. You would be at 9-4.
9-4. So I have them at
Yeah.
9-4 at this point.
Yeah. Win. You're not going to lose to Jackson Dart. That's not happening. Win.
Okay. So I have them at this point of the season going to the bye week. 9-4. You have them going to the bye week at 10-3.
10-3. Yep.
Whoa.
Again, easy opponents. I mean, what can I say?
Okay. All right. But it gets tough coming
Ooh,
up. Okay.
It's tough. Yep.
Okay. So you have them at what? I'm sorry.
10-3. Russ.
10-3. I know.
You have them at 9-4. Week 14 is going to be a great week to watch some football. I'll tell you that.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Buffalo or home against Buffalo. I'll give you first crack at this.
All right. So the question is, will the Patriots get swept by the Buffalo Bills? Yeah, they will. They will. I don't think the Patriots are going to win this. I think the hype will kind of die down. We've seen after the bye, for the last couple years, the Patriots have kind of faltered after the bye. Going back to 2021. I know I keep mentioning that season, but this is a pretty similar schedule to that season with a lot of bad teams going after the bye. I don't like the Patriots playing Buffalo, even if it's at home. I think they're going to lose. So go to 10-4. Yeah.
Okay. I agree with you. I don't have the Patriots winning this game. I think they get swept by the Bills. I just don't think they're ready to beat the Bills yet. So I have them at 9-5, and that has us heading week 16, Brady,
Baltimore.
away against the Ravens. I have this as a loss, so I now have the Patriots at 9-6.
Yeah, I also have this at a loss. Just looking realistically, it's going to be too much Lamar Jackson. Week 16, a cold Sunday afternoon, could be snowing. Who knows? This is a loss. I don't think the Patriots, again, I don't think they're good enough to beat great teams like the Ravens yet. So I have them right now at 10-5, going week 17 against the Jets.
Okay,
The
now
Jets. Jets.
the Jets. Now, here's the thing. I have them sweeping. So
Good.
I now have the Patriots at 10-6. How about you?
Yeah, I have winning too. I have them 11-5 now.
Yep.
Should be a pretty easy win. The Jets probably eliminated from the playoffs. At this point, so hopefully this is a win. Shouldn't be too close.
Okay. All right. Final game of the season against the Miami Dolphins. I think the Patriots put it all together and end 11-7, Brady, for me.
Yep. And 11-6, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, 11-6. Sorry.
Yeah.
11-6.
Yeah.
Another good
I
one.
do have them beating the Dolphins as well. I think they get it done. They go to 12-5, and possibly I don't think they're going to win the AFC East, but they're going to get a wild card position, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But again, this Patriots schedule is a lot easier than in years past, and realistically, there shouldn't be really any excuses for having lower than I'd say 8 wins. I think I've seen a lot of things online that maybe it's better for the Patriots to win 6 games this year than winning like 9, which is
I've seen.
a hunk of baloney if you ask me, because I mean, why would we not want to see the Patriots win? I mean, we need to develop a winning culture right here
That's right.
that we haven't had in years. So I completely disagree with that notion. The Patriots just, this might be that season where they finally break through and become one of the better teams in the NFL again. And I really hope we see that.
Okay. Brady, you and I both have them probably in the playoffs,
Yeah. We'll
And
make the playoffs.
And here's the thing, you and I, listen, you're my son. Of course, you're a little positive, but you can show your negativity, and so do I. But I think we're both looking at this realistically against the schedule we just saw. And I'm just saying, you could say that talent-wise, they're not much better. I think they're much better talent-wise, but more importantly, they have better coaching. The opponents are honestly we just went through it. They're terrible. It's an easy schedule.
Yeah.
So I think it's realistic for me to predict 11-6 and you to predict 12-5. I don't think that's out of the realm. So we just went through it. You wanted to go through, but I think what we should do before we get to week 1, we should revisit this and then see if we change our mind on any of this. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right.
I mean, these are just purely speculations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Brady, as always, I have a lot of fun doing the show with you. Any final thoughts before we wrap up the show?
Again, it's going to be a great season. I'm excited to see training camp. See a lot of the rookies play, I'm really excited to see Drake May, and, maybe, again, we'll definitely revisit this and see if anything changes before we want to change any of the wins or losses before the season starts. But right now, I think it's going to be a really fun Patriots season, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is probably the most hyped I've been for a season in a while. We need football back. This is going to be very exciting.
Okay. My final thoughts is, Brady, I did this entire show wearing glasses, and I actually kind of like it. I kind of like wearing these glasses. I kind of look a little bit. I look like Al Davis. Not that I want to look like Al Davis, but I kind of look a little bit like Al Davis with not much hair left. And I kind of look a little bit like Al Davis. It's very weird, very strange. Mm-hmm. Anyways, well, Brady and I will be going to training camp, and we will be sharing our thoughts once we get to training camp sometime next week. I look forward to bringing that to you. We'll be back with more shows, but we do have to wrap this up. For Brady Goldman, I'm Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for watching, listening to Patriots 4th and 2, the new generation.